Hello everyone. Hello aspirants. Welcome to Kalam IAS. My name is Rohit Gochak, and today is the third day of UPSC 2024 mains, and we are done with the GS3. And हम अब start करने वाले हैं trend analysis of environment and disaster management section of GS3. So let's start. If we see the syllabus of environment and disaster management, the syllabus which is given by UPSC is very broad. The terms which are mentioned are environmental conservation, very broad term. Environmental pollution, very broad term. Not specific details are not given like air pollution, water pollution, soil pollution, coastal pollution, marine pollution. It is not given. Just a broad term is given. And degradation. The only term which is actually very specifically mentioned is the environmental impact assessment. So this is the topic, this is the syllabus hint which is given by the UPSC, where specific questions are asked. Okay, if we form 3 to 4 themes around environmental impact assessment, then we will be able to predict the questions which are asked by UPSC. Okay, and again in the disaster management, the theme is very wide, disaster and the disaster management. This is written. If we see the trend of marks last, like if we see 2022, 2023, in 2024, almost equal weightage is given to both disaster management as well as the environment section. Okay, so this is the trend. Let's continue. We are going to now start with the trend analysis of the environment section first, and then later we will do the disaster management part. So UPSC in its syllabus has not given any specific details about the syllabus of environment. So हमें hint कहाँ से मिलेगी? Because we need the road map, we need the direction and जहाँ हमें prepare करना है. So that is the job which is done by the previous year questions. Let's predict कि अभी पेपर हुआ नहीं है. Okay, the mains is not the GS3 का पेपर अभी हुआ ही नहीं है. We just have the syllabus and the PYQs. Let's see the trend. We will do the trend analysis without the 2024 question paper and see how much we can predict. And then we are going to check out the 2024 mains examination कि सवाल क्या क्या आए हैं and whether they are from the trends or there are some surprises. Okay, let's start. So if we categorize this syllabus and if we categorize the previous year questions, what we can see is that some national and international initiatives, questions which are based on national and international events are asked, like the COP on UNFCCC, then UNCBD, UNCCD, then Convention on Migratory Species, CMS, Bonn Convention. In India, we have a national clean air program. All these initiatives, in सब पे सवाल पूछे जा सकते हैं. So this is a category. Let's see. In 2020, the question was on the national clean air program. Okay. In 2021, it was a global event, international event. So global air quality guidelines, which are recently released by World Health Organization. We are just going to see the themes. That's it. Okay. 2021, major outcomes of 26th section of COP2 UNFCCC. What are the outcomes? Simple. Okay. 2021 again, one of the initiative, Green Grid initiative, launched at the World Leader Summit at COP26. Okay. In 2023, National Wetland Conservation Program. These are the nationals and international initiatives. Now let's check out the other portion. The other second important theme which is explicitly mentioned in the syllabus is pollution. But what type of pollution? What kind of questions are asked on pollution? That is not specified. So if we check, then the land pollution, illegal mining, which actually leads to soil pollution. Then river water pollution. Okay. River water pollution. Keep these things in the mind. We are going to summarize what all things we are discussing. 2018, solid waste. Okay, 2022, photochemical smog, air pollution. Okay, again in 2023, oil pollution. Okay, and its impact on the marine ecosystem. National and international initiatives. Questions कैसे आते हैं nationals and international initiatives पे? We have checked it out. Pollution based questions. We have seen these questions also. How UPSC is asking, on what topics UPSC is asking. Now let's check the third theme. EIA. Explicitly mentioned in the syllabus. Now let's check what kind of questions are asked by UPSC on environmental impact assessment. Okay. EIA studies are increasingly undertaken before project. Project is cleared by the government. Discuss the environmental impact of coal-fired thermal plants located in pitons. 2016, rehabilitation of human settlements is one of the important environmental impact which always attracts controversies. Environmental impact assessment and rehabilitation of people. Okay. 2020, a very straightforward question based on current affair. How does the draft EIA notification 2020 differs from existing EIA notification 2006? National international initiatives, pollution, EIA. Let's see the fourth category. Concept based questions. What are concept based questions? How climate change, the things changes which are taking place from climate change, unka impact Himalayas and coastal states पे कैसे होगा? 2017, the concept of river linking, interlinking of rivers and its environmental impact. 2018, इंडिया में बायोडाइवर्सिटी कैसे वेरी करता है? हाउ डज बायोडाइवर्सिटी वेरी इन इंडिया? ठीक है, environmental region, geographical regions you have to give. Okay, along with that, Biodiversity Act 2002 helpful in conservation of flora and fauna. Okay, 2019, concept of carrying capacity of an ecosystem. Okay, as relevant to an environment, explain the understanding of this concept is vital. Explain how understanding of this concept is vital while planning for sustainable development of a region. Carrying capacity of any environment, कितना वो ले सकता है? What is the potential environmental carrying capacity of any ecosystem, whether it's a forest or a lake or a river? Okay, and how much so environmental impact can have. Okay, 2022. Each year, a large amount of plant material, cellulose, is deposited on the surface of planet Earth. What are the natural processes this cellulose undergoes before yielding carbon dioxide, water, and end product? The process of decomposition you have to explain. This is an environmental concept which is given in NCERT 12th class biology book. It is very detailed explanation, in a very simple language. 2022 again. Discuss in detail the photochemical smog, emphasizing its formation. Look, photochemical smog is also a part of pollution theme, but the UPSC in this question demanded you have to explain its formation, its effect, and mitigation. Okay, so this becomes a concept. Let's move forward. So now let's summarize. Okay, we have 4 themes. What we have seen in this: COP, UNFCCC, UNCBD, UNCCD, IPCC and its report and questions based on report, just like which is asked in 2023. Okay. COP to UNFCCC, COP 28, which was organized in UAE, Dubai. Okay. Now you write in the comment section that COP, at which place COP 29 of UNFCCC will be organized. Okay. Then the CMS, Convention on Migratory Species, COP 16. It was held in February 2024 in Samarkand. Uzbekistan. Okay. Second theme which we went through is pollution. Pollution, what is pollution? Land, water, air. What we have seen is, in land pollution we have seen illegal mining, and its environmental impact on the soil pollution. Water we have seen river pollution, oil pollution, air we have seen photochemical smoke, okay. The next theme is EIA, environmental impact assessment. Okay, what we have seen, current affair based question, any changes in EIA. Then we have seen rehabilitation, questions, and the fourth theme which we discussed was concept based questions. Concept based questions like how decomposition is taking place, then what are dead zones, climate change and its impact on different environmental phenomena. These are the concepts. There are many other concepts which can be asked by UPSC. So this is the theme, and broadly these are the themes which are covered by UPSC in previous year questions. And let's see this much information we have from syllabus and previous year questions. We have not seen 2024 mains GS3 paper till now. We just know this much. These are the dimensions which are explored on the basis of previous year questions and syllabus. Now let's see. This is the question. This is the question which is asked by UPSC in today's paper, GS3 CSE Mains 2024. Let's read the question. Industrial pollution of river water is a significant environmental issue in India. Discuss the various mitigation measures to deal with this problem and also the government's initiatives in this regard. From the previous year trend analysis, we explored that there is one theme which is called pollution. We subcategorize that theme into land pollution, water pollution, and air pollution. In water pollution, we had two categories, and we are not making these categories. We are getting these categories on the basis of previous year questions. What was the category? River pollution, oil pollution, and its impact on marine life. River pollution. And now we can trace, it was asked in 2024 CMS Civil Service Exam Mains, enumerate the national water policy of India. Taking river Ganga as an example, discuss the strategies which may be adopted for river water pollution control and management. What are the legal provisions for management and handling of hazardous waste in India? Simply, we can just, if we know, if we have done previous year questions analysis, if we have seen this question, we know what we can learn is, there is a question on river pollution. Its impacts, causes, government initiatives, how technology can be used, okay. Now impact we can subcategorize it on impact on the marine life, impact on the humans living in that region, impact on the groundwater availability, okay, legal provisions, mitigation measures, adaptation measures. If we cover all these dimensions, if we see this question and we have covered all these dimensions, this question was very much predictable. This question was very much predictable. Okay, causes, agricultural cause of riverine pollution, industrial cause of riverine pollution, okay, natural causes, anthropogenic causes, okay, and industrial pollution of river water is significant environmental issue in India. Discuss the various mitigation measures to deal with this problem and also the government initiatives in this regard. Okay, let's continue. This is another question which is asked in Civil Service Examination Mains in 2024. What role do environmental NGOs and activists play in influencing environmental impact assessment? This is a question on EIA, which is explicitly mentioned in the syllabus. Okay, so you have to cover 360 degree, you have to cover all the dimensions which are associated with EIA, all the current affairs which are associated with EIA, all the government steps which are the government is taking in respect to EIA, and the current events. Okay, some NGOs like Chaitana, Chintan, these are the NGOs which are quite active and they regularly take part in the environmental protection and conservation. So these NGOs actually play a very critical role in data collection, awareness. EIA actually is a process which includes screening, scoping, data collection, disaster resilience, and the public hearings. So all these the steps which are there in environmental impact assessment, NGOs play a very critical role. Okay, the local NGOs actually spread awareness, collect data from the local people, and it's and they predict and calculate the risks which are actually associated with the particular project. Okay, this was very much predictable question, and I won't even say that this was a tricky question. Move forward. Now this question, let's see this question. The world is facing an acute shortage of clean and safe fresh water. What are the alternative technologies which can solve this crisis? Briefly discuss any 3 such technologies, citing their key merits and demerits. Now the question is, ये सवाल कहाँ से आया? Okay, environment, water actually is a one of the biggest component of environment. But from which part of the syllabus? From which section of PYQs this question is asked? Okay, so let's do a very detailed analysis. Okay, so this question was very easy, but what I want to make, what my point is over here is that I want to show you something. Let's see. This question is what we have discussed just now. Now, what is this? Why is the world today confronted with a crisis of availability of and access to freshwater resources? Which question is this? This question is UPSC, I think UPSC 2023 Mains GS1, not GS3, it's GS1. So what I want to say is that the environmental and disaster management portion of GS3 is interlinked with geographical section of GS1. These questions are actually exchanged, and I will prove it just now. And I will give the example of 2024 mains question that these questions are actually exchanged in these two papers. The environmental questions are actually asked in GS1 geography section, and the geography based questions are asked in GS3 environment question and disaster management part. I will see. Let's see how. Okay. So obviously, if you read this question, definitely the world is facing an acute shortage of clean and safe fresh water. Why is the world today confronted with the crisis of availability of and access to fresh water? Same question, they just added something like suggest some 3 new technologies, what you can use, their merits and demerits. They just modified the question. The theme is actually the same. Okay. So when you do the analysis, do the integrated analysis of GS3 and GS1. Let's move forward. Now let's start with the trend analysis of disaster management. Okay. Now again, the syllabus, if we see the syllabus, then the syllabus is very broadly mentioned. In the syllabus, it mentions the disaster and disaster management. That's it. The syllabus has not even subcategorized at what kind of disasters and what kind of questions will be asked. So again, we are going to take the hint from PYQs. Earthquake. Obviously, India is actually vulnerable to earthquakes. The Himalayas are tectonically active regions. A lot of earthquakes actually. And the Bhuj earthquake, Gujarat. Okay, so obviously very predictable question. When you are preparing for GS3, you have to prepare for earthquake, the causes of earthquake and the anthropogenic causes and the natural causes, and then what are its impacts, and then the measures which are taken by the government, NDMA measures, and what technology which can be used, and all these dimensions you have to cover for each and everything. Okay, for floods also you have to cover these dimensions. For earthquakes, let's see the question. The frequency of earthquakes appear to have increased in the Indian subcontinent. However, India's preparedness of mitigation and their impact has significant gaps. Discuss various aspects. Easy question. 2021. Discuss about the vulnerability of India to earthquake, natural as well as anthropogenic vulnerability, because construction activities are going on. 18% of the world population is actually living in 2.4% of the global land area. Okay, so hydroelectric projects and Himalayan region and the construction of tunnels, these actually things, the dilemma between the environment and the development, that also is one of the vulnerability which we are facing. Okay, so let's move forward. Landslides. Now I'll tell you a very interesting thing. Once again, we'll see how the questions are exchanged from GS1 to GS3. 2016, 2021. GS paper 1. You go and check just now. Questions on landslides are asked. The only difference is that they are asking geographical aspect of landslide, that why landslides are happening, but they are checking the phenomena. But what we need is, we just need the hint. Okay. Again in 2021, in 2016 landslide was, in 2021 the question was differentiate between Himalayan regions, Himalayan causes and the causes of landslides in Western Ghats. Okay, they wanted to see your geographical understanding. But obviously, landslide is a disaster, but it was asked in GS1. Similarly, I am going to show you on a very interesting question which was asked in yesterday's GS1 paper, directly picked from GS3 paper of previous year questions. Directly picked, not even modified, directly picked. Describe the various causes and the effects of landslides. Mention the important components of the National Landslide Risk Management Strategy. Floods and the cloudburst. This is what I wanted to talk about. Okay. If you are following the UPSC Mains 2024 and if you are just reading the question paper, you must have come across a question in yesterday's GS1 paper that explained the phenomena of cloudburst in India. Simple. That's it. End of the question. Okay, let's see now. Let's see the previous year questions from the GS3. 2016, the frequency of urban floods, very important. Urban floods due to high intensity rainfall is increasing over the years. Discussing the reasons for the urban flooding, highlight the mechanisms for the preparedness to reduce the risk during such events. 2016, with reference to NDMA guidelines, discuss the measures to be adopted to mitigate the impact of recent incidents of cloudburst. 2022, explain the mechanism and occurrence of cloudburst in the context of Indian subcontinent. Discuss two recent examples. Focus on this question and you are going to get a very good surprise. Just check the year also. It was asked in 2022 and we are writing 2024 mains. Explain the mechanism and occurrence of cloudburst in the context of Indian subcontinent. Discuss two recent examples. It was asked in 2022 GS3. This is the point to be noted. ये कल वाला सवाल है, ये कल वाला क्वेश्चन है GS1 का. What is the phenomena of cloudburst? Explain. Asked in GS1. So the point is that they are exchanging the themes, exchanging the questions, modifying them, and then asking. Okay, this is the point to be noted. This is the lessons which we are going to learn. Lesson we are going to learn today. The next theme is vulnerability and risk assessment. How important are vulnerabilities and risk assessment for pre-disaster management? Vulnerability is an essential element of defining disaster impact. 2018, describe various measures taken in India for disaster risk reduction before and after signing Sendai framework for DRR. We know this is this time period for Sendai framework. Sendai is in Japan. It was signed by India. Okay. Let's move forward. Tsunami and coastal hazard. This is the fourth theme which we are exploring. The first theme which we explored was earthquake. Then we came to landslides. Then we came to floods and the cloudburst. Now this is the fourth theme, tsunami and coastal hazard. Then we came across vulnerabilities and disaster risk reduction. Okay, disaster preparedness. That was the fourth theme. This is the fifth theme, tsunami and coastal hazards. Okay, these are the questions. We all know 2004 tsunami पे सवाल आया होगा, ठीक है? 2022, explain the causes and effects of coastal erosion in India, and what are the available coastal management techniques for combating the hazard. Okay. Again, we'll do the same exercise. I have not seen. Let's see. We have not seen the GS3 paper till now. What information we have is on the basis of syllabus and previous year questions. Let's see. Disaster management. Okay. Earthquake. landslides. Flood. And flood, what we came across is urban flooding. Then cloudburst. Okay. Then vulnerabilities. And disaster risk reduction. Within this, we came across Sendai framework. Okay. The last theme was coastal hazard and tsunami. So tsunami actually becomes part of coastal hazard. So this is the information which we have. This is, I'm just writing broadly. Landslides, we came across the question. Obviously, you have to attach the disaster preparedness, like what measures India has taken for earthquake, what makes India vulnerable. This information we are getting from the previous year questions. That's it. Okay. What steps are taken by NDMA, technological aspect which can be used to predict early warning system and for early preparedness. Okay. Similar things, its causes, its impacts, government initiative, then NDMA guidelines, okay, technical use, floods, urban flooding, same, causes, impacts, government initiatives, NDMA guidelines, okay, recent examples, you have to add in everything, recent examples, okay, then cloudburst. And we will follow this theme that each and every disaster which is asked in previous year, we are going to do this kind of analysis, and on each and everything we will make notes. Okay. Then vulnerabilities, what all aspects make India vulnerable for different disasters. Then disaster risk reduction, Sendai framework, which is actually without Sendai framework there is no point of studying disaster management. You all know that if you're writing mains. If you're not writing mains, this is a very important. Already asked in previous year question, India has signed it. Coastal hazard, tsunami, cyclones are coming, tsunami is coming, okay, and then floods, coastal flooding due to excess rain, and this kind of analysis we are going to do over here also, okay. CRZ norms under the Environmental Protection Act of 1986, and what are the government initiatives, and what are the recent examples. We have done this. Now let's see the questions which are asked by UPSC in 2024 mains. CSE mains 2024. What is disaster resilience? How is it determined? Describe various elements of a resilience framework. Also mention the global targets of Sendai framework for disaster risk reduction. Now let's see the question which was asked in 2018. Describe various measures taken in India for disaster risk reduction. Before and after signing Sendai framework for disaster risk reduction. If you have just solved this question and must have done some kind of brainstorming, this question was a cakewalk. Let's go to another question. The most predictable question of UPSC CSE Mains 2024 from the disaster management section was urban flooding. Reason. 2020 Hyderabad flooding, 2021 Bangalore flooded, Bombay flooded, 2024 the case of death of students in one of the coachings in Delhi, old Rajinder Nagar area, which led to death of students, is because of urban flooding. Okay, so this question was quite predictable. You have to you must have all those who are writing mains and did even 20% analysis of the syllabus must have prepared an answer for urban flooding. Let's see the question. Flooding in urban area is an emerging climate-induced disaster. Discuss the causes of this disaster. Mention the features of two such major floods in the last 2 decades in India, describing the policies and frameworks in India that aim at tackling such floods. When we were discussing disaster, what we were doing with each and every disaster, what we were doing? Causes, impacts, government initiative, NDMA guidelines, and the recent examples. Everything with, like, for example, we must, if you are preparing, if you have done previous year questions analysis, तो आपने ये किया होगा हर एक disaster के साथ. Okay. Now let's see the PYQ, which is based on this. The frequency, this was asked in UPSC CSE Mains 2017. The frequency of urban floods due to high intensity rainfall is increasing over the years. Discussing the reasons for urban floods, highlight the mechanisms for the preparedness to reduce the disaster, to reduce the risk during such events. If you have just written this answer also, if you have written an answer on this question, आपको यहाँ पे सोचने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ती. What introduction you have to write, what example you have to write, what body structure you have to write, causes, effects, impacts, everything. Let's move forward. What I wanted to show you, I have given 2 examples till now that shows how the themes are exchanged in GS1 and GS3. The geographical themes are asked in GS3 and the environmental and disaster themes are asked in GS1. This is the 3rd example. This is the question which we have discussed just now. And now, Mains 2021, this is GS1 question. GS1 question. What are the environmental implications of the reclamation of water bodies into urban land use? Explain with examples. The hint which this question is giving is for urban floods. Obviously, this is going to have a lot of other points, but one thing will be urban flooding. Environmental implications, what? Biodiversity loss, groundwater pollution, wetlands will be lost, okay? Concretization of land which will decrease the water holding capacity, water recharge capacity of the soil is going to decrease. All these points have to write, but one of the environmental implication will be urban flooding. We can take the hint from this, okay? So this is how you have to do the previous year question analysis along with syllabus and mentally predict that what questions are actually very important. Key takeaways. The PYQs have proved that they are the guiding light in UPSC mains, prelims, obviously, prelims and mains. Okay. You can easily, if you cover all the 4 dimensions from one question of previous year, you can actually, I'm using the next line very carefully, you can actually predict 75 to 80% of UPSC mains question paper. 75 to 80%. Obviously, there will be some surprising elements, but 75 to 80%. Especially the second key takeaway, especially in GS1 and GS3, that too, geography in GS1, environment in GS3, disaster management in GS3, and agriculture in GS3 Because if you see the GS3 paper of 2024, there is a question on millets. And a question on agriculture will definitely require geographical aspect. Obviously it will require geographical aspect. The type of soil, monsoon, rainfall, and the other economic aspects, government initiatives, but at least 2 to 3 points from the geographical aspect. So what I will suggest is always study when you are studying geography for GS1 and these 3 sections for GS3, integrate them. Do the analysis simultaneously. Okay, you should have questions on environment, disaster management, and geography together, and then you should start preparing the notes and do the analysis. Okay, and do the preparation. This is actually a very key takeaway. If you do this, it will be really, really helpful for the future. Okay, so that's it. Thank you so much. I hope it was a very productive session. You must have got some insights about how to do previous year question analysis, the trend analysis. The questions were very much predictable. Less number of current affairs, more conceptual questions, more questions which are based on previous year questions. So I hope you must have attempted all the questions. All the very best for your questions. Those who are not writing mains, take the key takeaways, do the previous year question analysis, and prepare well. Okay, all the very best. Thank you.